gentlemen, to episode 62 of Thick and Thin. Thick and Thin is a show that we do weekly, bi-weekly, sometimes once a month, sometimes never at all. But we're doing it this week because I'm here. And I want to be here. LB doesn't eat. I have to beg him to do the show.
Wow.
It's bullshit.
Wow.
So, prima donna LB, why don't you say hello to everybody, if that's okay? Is that okay?
I think I will. I will grace them with the sweet, sweet sound of my voice. Welcome back, everyone, to our wonderful show. I'm glad we were able to have one today. Might not have one for long, because fuck you, Twitch. But anyways, let's move forward.
Wow. Some serious words there. And as always, the man with the plan, the man who is probably going to be producing the show, since I'm quitting. I've decided. I'm angry. Roger, what's up, buddy?
It's going good. What's going on, guys?
Not much. Just streaming in really low quality, just the way I like it.
I can see.
Just the way I like.
So many.
I like a vintage look to our stream. I like to make it so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I want it to always seem like it's the 30s. You know,
we're 2004. We're right there. 2004.
High definition is for pussies.
That's right.
That's for the 1%.
Yeah, I don't
like
the
1%.
I don't like high def. I like
blurry
high def,
is
but
the new black.
I want to pay for it. I don't want to. This free thing is unsettling. Would you agree? I like to make sure that I have to pay at least. I want to know that I have something that the have-nots don't. That's why I like to make sure I pay for my HD.
Free is not American.
Free is not American. Exactly.
Free is not
American. You got to work for your high def. Anyway, so this week, if you haven't noticed, we're probably going to talk a little bit about the Twitch changes since they directly affect everything that we do on the show. But we're also going to talk about a couple other things, namely that we've seen. The latest from Nintendo. I don't know if we care about it. We'll discuss that as well. Their new Nintendo 2DS, which is really a creative name because it's not the 3DS. And then a couple other things. Microsoft is talking or hinting at maybe doing a digital trade system. The thing that they pulled many months ago when they originally announced it may come back. So that's pretty cool. So let's start with that. Let's start with the Microsoft thing because I feel like normally it would be easy for us to attack Twitch. So let's start with the hard stuff, the stuff that is really on our minds. No, it's really not. How does everyone feel about that? Is it a good thing that maybe they're switching back and start this? We've talked about this on the show millions of times that we'd see these slow things, and I feel like we're three brilliant individuals because we're right once again. Microsoft is starting to slowly but surely re-implement or discuss re-implementing the things that scared people so often. Maybe this is their move where they're slowly putting everything back in. They're like, maybe they won't know about this digital thing. Bam! And by the time it launches, we're back to what we wanted. It's great. I mean, what do you guys think? So does anyone have a little bit of explanation of what they're talking about here, or do we not know? I mean, have you read anything, LB? Or
I personally haven't seen the article. I'm hoping Hitman has it in front of him and he could read it briefly.
Maybe. Hit, you know anything about this?
You want me to read it?
We don't got to read it, but what are they saying? Are they saying they're going to allow us to do the one game trade, or is it not even that special? Is there just they just give you free games after a while, or they take games away? What are they doing? If anything.
Yeah, they're basically saying a virtual used game store where players can sell to and buy from other players.
Ooh, I'm loving this.
So I can say you don't have Halo 4 and I'm sick and tired of Halo 4 or Halo 5. And you want it, I can sell it to you.
Wow.
Are they listing is it user-created pricing on that, or is it
all it says here is bought and sold at various prices depending on included features, the essence, a virtual used game store. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're going to... I don't think... I will say this right now. I don't think they're going to do what you're hoping, LB, because I think that'd be amazing.
Well, what are you hoping for?
Well, I think the idea... Well, a nice thing would be is if really the market's prices got set by the people that own the games. That would be ideal in that sense because, just like eBay or anything like that, you set the price. If someone wants to buy it for that price, they can. If not, they won't. I have a suspicion that it will be regulated, right? Because if games get too cheap, that means you won't buy the new version of that game, or you won't buy that new game.
People would just trade their games between each other.
Right, and it would really kind of hurt that marketplace. So I assume they're going to set it at a set price, whatever they deem is good for trade-in value, which generally is pretty shitty. But it will be nice to finally, if you have a digital copy, you at least will now have a reason to buy digital. That was the whole thing is, even if they gave you that option, like you could buy digital or you could buy, the solid media. I think a lot of people still would buy solid media just for the reason that even if you can only get a couple bucks for it, at least you're getting some money for it.
Yeah.
Where, now if you have a marketplace, there's really no reason to ever leave your couch, right? I mean, I know you always said, LB, that you would be digital. Did that ever play a role before, like having not being able to sell it back, or did that matter to you?
Well, I mean, I've kind of thought about it back and forth and everything like that, and still getting back to having that solid digital and going into the store and being able to sell it, even if it's $12 a game, $9 a game, or whatever it is, it still helps a little bit, and it counts.
Yeah.
But now, if I can do that digitally and the pricing is the same, hell, fucking yeah, I'm gonna do digital all the time. Because luckily for me, I have 4 different GameStops within 4 miles of me.
Right.
So it's not an issue where I have to travel butt fucking Egypt to get to one.
Right.
But still, that's it's a nice option to have, and I hope it's there. The only question is, like you said, what's the pricing going to be? So if I can trade it in for, you get $3, and I can go to GameStop and get $9, yeah, I'm probably going to go to Solid Media.
Right.
Just for the trade-in value, which I'm a little bummed at.
Well, I mean, but you were the type of guy that did trade. Like, see, I'm so lazy, I don't even trade in the games. I think the last time I traded in a game was because of you, and I think it was the Kinect that I bought. I was like, I kind of want to get a Kinect, but I don't really care enough. And you were like, well, do you have any games laying around the house? I was like, yeah, I have millions of games laying around. I was like, why don't you trade them in? I was like, well, what? Trade them in? What?
Well, I mean, personally, if you're not playing those games and they're just fucking sitting in a corner, even if you're getting $2 for them and you've got 10 of them,
yeah,
you get something. And then, if you turn in 2 or 3 that have that bonus promo on top, if you do turn in 2 or 3, blah, blah, blah.
No, it makes a lot of sense. What about you, Hit? Do you turn in your oh, you
don't? No, I hate that shit. I'm the complete opposite. Complete opposite.
Well, judging by your background, yeah, you probably don't ever trade anything in ever. You just got your fucking.
Yeah, it gets stored in there, and then when I need them, I'll use them. That's the thing that I don't like is the fact that okay, I'm not playing the game right now, but maybe later on down the road I'll want to play the game. But
maybe later on I'll play it down the road.
Right, that's the problem.
I go back and play a lot of old games, because of my stream and stuff. So that's me. I know I'm not normal, but in that aspect, but
in any aspect. But
I don't know, spending $60 on a game and then selling it for $20 or in most cases $5 to $2.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense. It just seems like throwing money away.
Well, I think a lot of people have that. That's, I think, my attitude too. The reason I don't trade in games is because I'm so insulted by the price that they're going to give me that I'm like, well, fuck you. You know what? I'm going to put a beer on it, or I'm going to use it as a disc or something just to I don't know, I'm trying to spite them in some way. It is ridiculous. It's not very well thought out. I will admit to that. But I do have that sort of well, fuck you. I'm just going to keep the game. But after a while, when I've accumulated 20 plus games, LB's like, how many games do you have laying around? I'm like, I don't know, 40. He's like, dude, that's 4 Xbox 360s for free. And I was like, what? It wasn't. But I mean, I did get a Kinect. I got a Kinect and a game. I think it's how I bought Battlefield 4.
Battlefield?
Actually. Yeah. Yeah, I got it all. I got a Kinect. I got the Battlefield 4. I don't play either of them, so kind of right back where I was. But still, it was free, quote unquote, because it was something that I didn't even know I had or could use. So this digital market, now, here's what I'm going to say right now. This is my thinking forward, or my assumption that I'm going to make. I guarantee you that the money that you get out of this more than likely can only be used back in their own store.
Yeah.
I would make that assumption right now. And that's why I think for them, this is a no-brainer. Because I'm assuming that's what they'll do. You cash out, but you cash out into the Microsoft's cash shop. And we already know that you don't have to do Microsoft points anymore. It's the actual values. That works out well. But you're only going to be able to spend it on more video games. knows? But I mean, and again, speculation, but would that matter to you guys? Really?
Actually, with that, if they're going to do that, and that I really like that, your theory on that, I think they'll actually offer more trade-in value for that, so you don't go to GameStop and give them the money.
That's what I was going to bring up. How do you think GameStop feels about this? You think they're like, not again? These guys are fucking us again? They must be shitting their pants over there.
They're still getting fucked, but they're not getting completely obliterated.
I think that's
but
kind of
slowly the bleeding is like getting.
Yeah, well, it's death by 1,000 cuts,
right,
instead of just one big shank.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem too, is they don't want to be the one to like nail in the coffin, but they have no problem like slowly like tapping that coffin shut. Like, and it's a good move for the consumer as well. So I'm not like against it in any way. At least, again, if I'm trading in that money, whether I take that $20 and put it in my pocket, whether that goes to me buying dinner that night or whether it goes to buying more video games, I'm going to buy more video games. So I don't really care if they lock me down into only spending that money with them, because I'm going to spend that money with them at some point. That's my game money that I already spent on a game. So I don't care. I'm going to get it back and I'll spend it on another game. So I'm cool with that. And LB, I think that's brilliant. If they lock it down like I said, but then they do what you said and make it a better value to go to them.
Yep.
Wow, man. Digital games all day. I don't have to get up from my couch. I play it on day one at midnight. I can turn it in, get more money than I would anywhere else, and not leave the house again, mind you.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, you spend gas when you go to fucking GameStop. You spend gas. And if you don't think gas is expensive, you're fucking crazy, dude. Or you're living in some I don't even know. Maybe you make your own gas. I don't know. But, that's a huge benefit.
Yeah.
You drive
and I don't think we're
GameStops.
saying that they're going to give you, if GameStop was giving you $12 for that game, Microsoft's not going to give you like 29. It's not going to be like that. But if GameStop was giving you 12, they may give you 15.
Yeah, and that's a good deal. I mean, look at it this way: you drive to GameStop. Let's say you waste a gallon of gas to get there. I don't know how far your GameStops are. You're already out like $4. I mean, you're already like, well, at least where I live, you're out $4. Maybe you're lucky enough to be in the $3 whatever range. If you are, God bless you. But in Chicago, they literally stick something in your ass before you even get there, and you cry, and that's it, and they take your money. You don't even get gas. Sometimes you get gas. So, you've already wasted money getting in the car. You haven't even gotten the value yet, and then they give you $6. You spend $4 to get there. You get $2. It's pointless. So, I mean, this would be good. This is a great move. I'm totally for it. Does anyone see anything wrong with this at all?
The only thing that I could see maybe might be a bummer is if you're doing pre-orders and stuff and if the pre-order goodies are really big to you and you can only get that in the physical media. Right. That would kind of suck. Because there are times where I'm like, I want to pre-order at GameStop because I'm getting X. Yeah. And, and it's not like they're giving me a free game, but it's still kind of nice. But that's the only thing where I'm kind of like, ooh, let's find out what's going on.
Well, and people do talk about I feel like you're this type of guy too. Does that sway you because you won't be able to get like special editions where you wear your little gay helmet that you get for Halo or something like that? Yeah, I said it.
I don't. I'm kind of weaning away from the limited edition stuff.
Yeah, you don't care anymore?
Yeah. No, I don't really care that much anymore.
Interesting.
I'm really turning into the whole digital, library aspect. Ever since the Xbox One announcement about the library that travels with you and stuff.
Yeah.
Ever since then, I've been like, you know what? I'm gonna go digital. I don't think I'm gonna do physical media anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. LB, do you care about the toys? Do you want the toys?
It depends. I mean, for the Halo stuff, I did do the collector's edition the past 3 times, actually, all the way back to Reach.
Really?
Actually, I'm sorry, all the way back to Halo 3. I have the helmet.
Yeah.
I have the statue thing for Reach, and then I got the collector's edition for Halo 4. So.
But I mean, so would you miss it, or could that be something that you'd let die? You know what I mean? Because I think in a way you kind of got to let that die.
Yeah, I don't think I'd lose any sleep. I mean, the stuff was cool at the time, but even now, I'm kind of on the same par with the games. It's just sitting on my shelf, and I'm like, all right, that was cool, but now what do I do with it?
So, right, it's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's a great move. I mean, I think it's win-win, and I love seeing this. This is the biggest reason we wanted to talk about it is because it's like they're doing what we predicted that they would do, and they're slowly but surely adding in the things that they took away that we thought were great. And if we end up in a place where, you know, we've essentially got a mix of all the things that we loved, and you guys keep your shitty physical media, the Xbox 360 will be, in my humble opinion, the better purchase.
Xbox One.
Oh, Xbox One. Right, not the 360. Although the 360 is quite good as well. But yeah, no, I mean, it'll finally be like, I think what everyone always wanted when they saw it. And I think the value add at that point will be much great. Because right now, again, I've said it before, and I kind of have to agree a little bit with Sony. There's not a lot of value add between the two. You just kind of pick whichever one that you want has better exclusives. That's kind of where we ended up after E3. It was like, well, we're back to doing everything the same, and you just pick whichever one has the game you like the most, and then you buy that system. Or in my case, I buy both, because I'm like, well, I'll just try both, and whichever one is better, I'll play. But now you have I think it's a value add that Sony doesn't have unless they start moving that direction as well. So I'm all for it. I think we all agree. We're all for it. Next up on the list of things this week was Nintendo's release, and I don't know if we even care about this. We'll probably only spend like 2 minutes on it because it is Nintendo, and we've all moved on. But apparently Nintendo refuses to give up and go quietly into thy good night, and they have released the Nintendo 2DS, which is a handheld system, so it's coming off of the 3DS, which is ironic because they're going backwards. And the reason they're going backwards is they're releasing a sort of like I don't like to use the word cheap, but it is cheaper. It's their, I guess, bargain handheld. And it's meant to combat all of the obvious increase in gaming on iPhones and whatnot, and almost be more of I think a kid's handheld. I think it's under $150. I'm probably totally wrong with that, but I know it's under 200.
I think it's 129.
Oh, 129? That's not bad at all.
I think so.
It plays all the games of the 3DS, but obviously not in 3D. That's why it's called the 2DS, and it's in tablet form, so it doesn't have the cool little clamshell that everyone's been used to. But what do you guys think about this? I mean, the prices are dropping from the Wii U. We've seen they're now releasing a cheaper version of their flagship system. I mean, the handheld is what makes them money. Is this more of a leading into the death of Nintendo, or is this a good thing? What do you guys think? Hit?
What are they doing over there? That's what I want to know. Like, who's running this ship? Like, I think they're confusing customers again. Like, now this thing's called the 2DS, and now people are going to be like, what about the 3DS? What, the XL, the non-XL, the Wii U, the Wii? Like, it's so confusing to the consumers, and they still have not gotten that message, I believe.
No, I agree. I agree that it is, their naming conventions are completely fucking insane at this point. When I saw, it's so funny because when I saw the news, I think it was on Reddit, when I saw the news, I had no idea that they even released this product. I was like, don't they already have that? Like, I had forgotten that the 3DS was 3D, and I get it now as a consumer. I was like, oh, no, wait, yeah, this is the 3DS. But I just remember, like, instinctively, I was like, this doesn't seem, I'm pretty sure this is already out. Like, is Reddit wrong? And I looked and saw the product, and obviously it was new. But they definitely are not good at the marketing side of things at this point.
No.
But in terms of really playing to their base, I actually think this is a great idea. It's extremely cheap. The biggest thing that they've been fighting against has not been, the Vita or anything like that. It's been iPhone. I mean, that's their biggest competitor right now is iPhone and Android. And if you can get the price at $120 or $100 even, I would like to see it around 100. I think would be fantastic. Then it almost seems like, yeah, I'll take that into the shitter for $100, right? I'll play some. I have all my old stuff. I don't have to get new games. If I had a 3DS, which I don't, I'd be able to play those games, and it's something I can try out. It's a little bit cheaper. It's not the clamshell cool thing, but it's still got the stylus and the 2 screens that you're used to. It's got the shoulder buttons, all that stuff. Really, it looks like a Wii U controller. But I mean, what do you think, LB? Is this? I know you're not in the market for this, but maybe as a kid's device, do you see this as like something good to give to the kids to keep them busy? Maybe is that what they're going for?
Well, as like the price point, if it is $129, that's actually kind of attractive because even if you bring in the argument of iPhones and Android phones and everything like that, well, if you're going to get the phones, you still got to get the contract and add it to your contract. So if you're going to, oh, well, I can get a $99 iPhone and give it to little Timmy, well, then you're paying your extra $20 a month on top of that or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now, if you have this 2DS, then at $129, that's not bad. And with me, I've got my twins, and I can get them each one for $260 or whatever it is. Or even if like you said, if they could get down to the magic $100 one at $100 or $99, it's almost like an instant Christmas present at that point.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good deal. I don't know. I mean. Like I said, if I got that as like a gift or, I don't know that right now I'd go buy it for myself. But I think, if I had if my nephew was 10 or 11 or whatever, Nintendo's a great video game system for any kid. I will stand by that for forever. And for $129, it's kind of a no-brainer. If the kid breaks it in a couple, years, those things last forever. The games are relatively cheap. I think it's a good investment to make. If you're a gamer and you don't mind, you want to play on the shit or whatever, Nintendo still makes fantastic video games, so it's kind of a no-brainer there as well. I like that they're doing this. I think the move here is they don't want to compete anymore with these high-end systems. They feel like they can't. And I think they're getting the point, and they're moving out of that. And actually, Sarcasmo was the one that said it as well. They're also lowering the price on the Wii U. I think they have to, since obviously we're seeing Nintendo is now going to be taking a back seat to Sony and Xbox. They're going from I think they were at $349, so they'll be at $299, which is still, by the way, way too much money.
Yeah, way too fucking much money.
Is really,
I mean, like you said, they can't. No one I know. I mean, literally, I've never seen anywhere on the boards where people are like, am I going to get a PS4? Am I going to get an Xbox One? Or am I going to get a Wii U?
Yeah.
Find that out there. That somebody's not trolling.
Hold on. What about little Timmy that asked his mom for a new video game system this holiday? Mom goes to the store. She sees 3 choices. She doesn't know anything about any of the 3. You think she's going to buy the Wii U?
No,
because it's the cheapest.
Oh, but that's my point.
No?
But isn't the Sony PS4 $300?
It's $399.
So $399. So for $100,
and then the Xbox One is $499, and then the Wii U's $299 with a game.
I don't
Legend
know.
of Zelda.
$399.
I don't think so because I think your
But
kid
she knows
now,
nothing about this stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but the kid isn't going to go, I want a video game system.
Yeah, that doesn't
No,
happen
he's going to be like, I want an Xbox.
I want Call of Duty.
a Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah, even 14 or fuck it, even 10-year-olds know what Call of Duty is. You know what I mean? It's a savvy world we live in. I don't think anyone is you're cool if you have the Xbox or the Sony at this time. It's like Nintendo has sadly become a little uncool. Yeah. So that's why this handheld, the 2DS, I really look at it as like an 8-year-old. It's becoming it's weird to even think this, but it's becoming like that kid. It's the kids' platform. It always kind of has been. I know this isn't some new revolution that I'm telling you guys. You're like, oh my god, really? Nintendo's doing that? You're blowing my mind. We know that, but that age gap is getting even thinner, right? It's maybe before it was 8 to 20 or 30, but now it's 8 to 12, maybe 8 to 15. It feels that way, and this price point kind of, I think, in a weird way, verifies that a little bit.
Yeah. And plus, it brings them back to their bread and butter. Their money before the Wii, a big portion of their thing is the handheld. So go back to what you're safe at. Go back to what you're profitable at. If you're not going to go full board and go heads up with everybody else, get the fuck out of that market or make it uber cheap. Those are your choices.
2 options. Yes, definitely. And they're doing a good thing like that. I think in a way too, people didn't give a shit about the 3D. When I first saw it, even at E3, and I think it was last year or the year before that, I don't know that 3D gaming on a handheld ever made any fucking sense in the first place. It's I'm gonna be staring at this thing cross-eyed on a train when I go to work. Didn't make any fucking sense anyway. And I think if they can cut their losses on the tech of doing 3D and you slash the price on that thing, that's what they got to do. Make the games good and make everyone want to play those games, and don't worry about the froofy shit. You know, that's the thing too with Nintendo. They've gotten this mindset of like, we have to do something different for the sake of doing something different. And sometimes you need to just shut the fuck up and make video games. Sometimes you don't need to like have a fucking Wii U controller and a motion thing, all this bullshit. Sometimes you just gotta make good games.
I mean, they caught lightning in the bottle with the Wii. They had it. That crazy thing, and they made their fucking money. Mm-hmm. But then, like you said, they saw that and said, we can do it again. Well, they didn't do it again. That's the problem. Right. So that's the feast or famine behind that theory. And they just got to go back to what's safe for them.
Yeah, and things like that, it's I hate saying it too, but I mean, with the Wii, the original Wii, the lightning in the bottle was really, the newness and craziness of it, but people found out, I think, pretty quickly that it just didn't work that well. Like, it was cool, but it wasn't amazing. I mean, people got used to it, and they said, I don't really want to play this anymore. I remember I had my Wii U, I played the sports game that came with it, and then I was done. That was what I played. So, I don't know. We had a picture of that up, the 2DS up for a second there, but hits controlling that for me. So yeah, so that's it, right? That's it's a giant. I don't even know what you'd call that. It's not even a square.
And see, honestly, with that, you get a nice little protector case on that. You don't have to worry about the hinges snapping off. Because I'll tell you that with my boy.
Oh, you tear it apart. Yeah.
He'd have, a good time with it, but eventually be like, and bust it in fucking half.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays with my Kindle now, but I've got this gumdrop, bomb-proof case on it. We've dropped it from, the second story.
And it survived?
And it still works. I mean, it wasn't on the corner. It landed pretty flat, but, this I feel a little bit more comfortable with. Get a nice little protective case for it on the back. Christmas present, $129, maybe times 2. Share.
Yeah. I don't know. Still don't care, though, sadly enough. So that's what Nintendo's doing. If you guys care, I know you don't deep down. This makes me sad. They're trying, though. They're trying. And finally on the list, Twitch has announced some things today. And this could really,
main event of the night.
Yeah, this could really go on for days. And I'll try to... The hardest part about this news that they've released, is explaining why it sucks to everybody. Because we had, before the show started, we had maybe a 2-hour session of why this is the worst thing in the world that I had to explain to Hit and LB. And basically, it comes down to this. If you're watching our stream right now, you'll notice it looks really shitty. And the reason it looks really shitty is essentially what Twitch is trying to do. And this goes well beyond quality of stream. They're using that as their mantra to try to sell it to you. But they've gotten rid of the mid-range quality of Twitch. And the way their PR team is spinning it is, we only want you to view the best, right? That's we're upping our technology and we're upping our partners, and everyone's got to be ready for this new, everyone should be in HD and quality. What that means is if you don't hit their predetermined requirements as a streamer, they will automatically downsample you to the shittiest possible quality in the world, which right now I think is 320p, which 360p, which, if you don't know, is lower quality than standard definition. We're talking years ago when you had your awesome fucking tube TV that sucked balls. It's a lower quality than that. Now, the reasons for this vary, but what you find out as you read into this awesome announcement, the real reason they're doing this is essentially to upsell people. Now, they won't come out and say this, but is to upsell people to buy better quality streams. And they're doing that by aligning themselves with partners like MLG, and any of the bigger names. If you go to the homepage of Twitch, you'll see. So any partners that have really great equipment, really high quality streaming and bandwidth to do all this stuff, all of those guys benefit greatly from this. That means their stream quality goes up, they're standardized across the board. Now, here's where it gets to the money part. If you watch MLG and you want to be a part of MLG, and they choose, now it's on the partnership's choice, obviously, What they can then do is say, okay, well, we only show our awesome kick-ass stream to you if you pay the money. So if you guys remember back in the day when people watched like VODs from Halo and MLG, this is really the same model that they had where they would stream their Halo events in shitty quality, and then if you paid money, you would see the better stream. So now they're kind of standardizing that model across the board. So streamers that don't have the ability to like have the absolute bleeding edge best stream quality, us, essentially get pushed to the side. So if I'm a new guy coming into this and I don't have the equipment to do it, I will no matter what have a shitty stream. Before we could at least be in a standard def of like 420p and even for 720p. We can't even hit that mark now. So we're automatically downsampled into the fucking shittiest quality possible. And then the guys that already have the money and have the stuff to do it make money because now you have to pay money into it to get a better stream. So that's it in a really long-winded nutshell. But that's where we're at. And I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think about this? Because this is a really big deal. Not even for us, but because of the Xbox One, because of the PlayStation 4, because streaming is obviously going to get even more important in the gaming world. What do you guys think about stuff like this? Like, LB, what is it? And you're a perfect example because you're already having trouble streaming in 420p, for God's sake.
Well, yeah. I mean, to kind of like go back to what he said a little bit, it's like we know why this is coming.
Right.
They've done these partners now with Sony and Xbox, and their costs. We never knew how they were going to justify the cost of being able to do this because they were going to get fucking slammed with all this streaming because everyone's like, oh, Twitch is great. It's, you stream and it's a free service and it's fantastic and blah, blah, blah. You're going to have now 8 million people all trying to do it at once. Well, now we know. Right. This is what is coming. Because in the past, you could do the 480p like I do. I don't have these fancy computers like Hit and Duty. Mine's kind of old and busted. So the best I can do without like a real jittery stream or a real crappy stream is I'm at 480p. And trust me, I was tweaking that for fucking weeks trying to find out what I could actually do. But now I can't even do that. Even though I found the sweet spot, found what works for me, it doesn't matter because it's going to go down to the 360 or whatever it is. I'm fucked.
You're fucked.
There's nothing I can do without buying a new top-end computer. And Duty's computer, I mean, that's what, like 6 months old?
Yeah, it's almost a year old, but even then, it's got 18 gigs of RAM. It's got it's not a piece of shit by any means. It's not a piece of shit. I mean, it's still to this day probably one of the better computers out there, but even that's not enough. Or, maybe it's a licensing issue or whatever. Like, even in my case, yes, maybe the computer's power is good enough, but now, in order for me to stream in the quality that they require, I have to buy a license from VidBlaster, which is $5,000. I don't have $5,000 to spend on a license to get the extra level of quality required to stream at it. So it just pushes me right out of the market. And the other problem is everyone's used to this now. Everyone has seen streams in 1080p and 720p. Everyone on Xbox Live, anyone that's done any of the streaming, they expect that quality. And this is what really bothers me. There's no reason. It's like putting a governor on something that can absolutely do what they're saying. And that's the problem. Before, if you wanted to stream at 720p, you could. If the end user saw some hiccups, every now and again, they had a choice. They could downsample to 420p, which is still totally watchable. It's a standard definition. That's what we've done our show, and no one's really complained. Or they can say, okay, I'll deal with the hiccup. I just want the highest quality possible. I'll deal with the pause in the audio, whatever. I want it. Now, if you look at our stream, what they've done is the button that used to say what quality we're at now just says source. So the end user doesn't even know what we're streaming at. By the way, it's 360p. It's a piece of shit. But you had that option. Like or at least the knowledge. You don't even have the knowledge anymore. You don't even know what it's at. You're just sort of kind of like pushed to the side, and you get what you get, and that's the stream. I don't know.
Well, and this is kind of one thing we also haven't talked about. Sony and Microsoft. Let me try that again. Sony and Microsoft have both said yes, you'll be able to stream in HD. Okay. That's fine, but now we need to know if you want to do a quality stream, are those two consoles going to be able to meet the minimum requirement
right.
to be able to view it in 720p
right.
the whole time? If you're not, you're going to get kicked down to that 3 whatever it is.
Yeah.
So we need more information now from our two console makers.
Right.
And I'm willing to bet that Twitch has already got a viewing of what it's going to be. So now they're coming out with this new adjustment, so they know what's coming. And one, they're protecting themselves from the massive bandwidth that they're going to use by governing everybody down. And they also know that, yeah, people will be able to kick out 720, but it's not necessarily going to meet these new standards.
Right.
So if they really want to get there, they're going to have to pay their, I don't know, $5 a month or whatever the fuck it is. I have no idea. You guys might know that. But I mean, come on. And like, honestly, to get to that standard, it is possible, but you're still looking at least
it's a big investment.
$1,000 machine to do it.
Yeah, and maybe the saving grace is that when you buy an Xbox One, you're basically getting $1,000 machine. That's the cool part about when you buy these consoles in first generation, because they're meant to last a long time. They put so much shit into them. They subsidize it. You basically get $1,000 machine. So maybe that's the saving grace. Maybe console players across the world will be okay. Maybe not. Then it all comes down to how much bandwidth you have to give, because it doesn't matter how good your computer is. Your computer could be the best computer in the world. If you can't push the kbps requirement that they have associated with that stream, you're not going to make it anyway. And there's not a lot of people out there. I mean, our internet in the U.S. is getting better. There's no question about it. But we're talking about upload speed. That's generally the lower part of what you pay for. You might get 100 fucking megabits down. But it doesn't matter. What you get up is obviously going to be what matters. If you're only pushing 2 megs up or whatever, you're not going to make it. So all of this is kind of contingent on a lot of variables. And what ends up happening is, because they seem to be so strict and there's so many variables, the answer is to kick you down to the shittiest thing possible. Like there's a million variables, there's a million ways that you can make a stream better or worse, but they just sort of ignore all that. And if you're not, an industry standard, you don't make a shitload of money or have a lot of money, they just kick you down to the 360 and you're sort of kicked to the curb.
And like Judy was saying, it's not even, you have your system, your system handle it. Okay, check. Do I have the bandwidth to handle it? I actually happen to have the bandwidth, not necessarily the system. But there's actually a third level to that, and you may think that, oh, well, yeah, I can do 4 up and again 25 down, and I've got this kick-ass computer. But you also need to be able to meet their bitrate standard.
Right.
And that's different than just, kicking it out there. I can kick out 1080p, but the bitrate would be so fucking low, it'd just be nasty.
Yeah, right, yes. And that's part of it too. And again, I'm not totally against this move, because I think even going with what LB is saying, at least it means that you can't try to fake it and have a shitty bit rate and a great high stream, but don't take away 420p. I think that if you look at why everyone's in a rage about this and they're freaking out, is because you can if this was all to help the streamers and all to make this a better place and everyone was kumbaya, the lowest quality should be 420p. Almost anyone can stream at
480
or 480. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I want to punch you in the face.
Almost anyone can stream at that quality. That's standard definition. You don't even need crazy broadband for that. So if this was all good intention, then I don't think you'd see this. And that's the problem is whenever they they did this with MLG, they give you a quality that's so grainy that, and again, we're just streaming our own faces. If this was a video game, you guys would have left years ago. Well, you probably leave now anyway, but still, when you see the actual streams that come out in this new stream, in this new quality, I mean, it's unwatchable. You can't see the figures. You can't, as soon as you can't read text or can't see anything, you're out. You're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm out. So
unless you pony up for the special, and that's what you were explaining to me earlier, that when it was finally starting to come to me, what you were saying, it was that you could pay for this extra upgrade so you could stream in the higher thing. You wouldn't have the governor, so to speak.
Right.
But again, you're going to have to pay for it. So they want you to come along here's the carrot, come on, my little fucking donkey, and then wham, here's the extra, slap in the ass to get you that extra stream or the extra quality.
Get out the checkbook. So, Hit, you've been pretty quiet. What do you think about this overall? I mean, because you have Watchtower Games, but you've always been able to stream at that high quality. So, in a way, I don't know that this affects you. We tested your stream. You meet the requirements. So, I mean, does this matter to you or no?
It doesn't matter to me, but I know that streaming at 480p is like what most viewers watch at. And right now I'm forcing them to watch 720p because that's what I stream at.
Right.
But now that it's downgrading, like I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm a little indifferent about it, but I'm hoping that what they're doing is to help the little guy and to help everybody. But I don't know. I don't know what to believe just yet.
Well, it's not helping the little guy because people don't have.
It's definitely not helping. Well, I'm talking about the little guy in the sense of the guy that streams at good quality but has no viewers.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because his stream is so high quality.
Right. And again, I kind of see the intention of what they're trying to do, but then you sort of read through the bullshit. And you can't help but be like, well, if you were really trying to help us out, why would you get rid of the one quality stream that everyone universally watches the most?
That's exactly my way of thinking. Like, why did they get rid of 480p? Like, that's weird. Should have kept that.
And kind of tie it up for everybody, too. Like, Hit likes to use XSplit. Duty will use XSplit. I wanted to use XSplit for my streaming, but unfortunately I can't because for their free version, which, you still get decent video production and everything like that, the audio codec, unless you're paying for their pay model, whatever it is,
the full copy,
they're making you use a proprietary audio codec.
Right.
So you can't hear it. Even it doesn't come along. But if I pay for that subscription, then I can do MP3.
Right.
So we're along those lines, and I know it sounds like we're bitching. Okay, you're bitching about a free fucking service. Fuck you all.
Right.
Well, no, I get that.
Right.
Thank you for having this free service. But again, it's back to the old drug dealer. Here's a little taste. Now you're gonna have to pay.
Yeah. And I just to resonate that, LB, I totally agree. I think Twitch is fantastic. That's why we're on it. That's why Own3D all backed out because the service was good. The service was always good. It's this whole feeling of now they're the monopoly. And it's also that feeling of they just got their hooks into Sony and Microsoft and we're just seeing this at the same time. It's that feeling of man, they know now. There's no question. Twitch is the streaming service, period. Yeah. I mean, as soon as, it hits on PS4, and I know PS4 also had Ustream. Well, no one gives a fuck anymore. Ustream, no one gives a fuck anymore. I mean, well, yes, if it's...
They now have an opportunity.
This is true.
This is now their opportunity. This is for them to step up the game and be and basically do what Sony did to Microsoft in their press release, if you want to use Twitch, you're going to get fucked unless, you're super high end, your stream can't do this. Come over to Ustream, guess what? You got 480p, you got 360p, you got 720p, you got all the P's. We got P's coming out our P's.
P's in the pod.
So come on over. So it's an opportunity.
But you know what's going to end up happening?
What?
I'll tell you right now. All the shitty streamers go to Ustream. And the only thing you see on Twitch is quality, baby. And the problem is it's the partnership that's the real killer. It's not guys like us. You know what I mean? We don't fucking matter. Their whole model is viewers to get advertising dollars to get money. So now if you're fucking over there and you're massaging MLG's balls, and at the same time you got Microsoft's balls over here, and you got Sony at the reach around, and you're just balls everywhere. That's where your money is anyway. And that's where the whole monopoly, they got the viewers to love Twitch. And then the companies came on board and they partnered up and it was hey, look, let's knock out all these dumb shits like Duty, LB, and Hit. And if people want to watch an MLG series or they want to watch, StarCraft, and let's face it, I mean, people like League of Legends have seen 500,000 viewers watching their tournaments. That's fucking insanity. If anyone can even wrap their mind around that, that makes total sense. Fuck it. Now we get 500,000 viewers, even if we make 10% of those people pay or whoever, fucking cash money. It's a shitload of it. Come on. Millions.
I mean, basically, I'm hoping that when I get my Xbox One and I want to stream, that it's going to meet the minimum standards. I'm hoping, Twitch knows what's coming and say, okay, if you're streaming from the Xbox One, you're going to meet it. You should be fine as long as, you have a 2 meg upload or whatever it is like that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I should reserve judgment as well. And again, we're going to, this all happened like this week. And so next week we're going to have Hit try to do the stream for us. He'll probably do the producing of the show, which is fine by me because I fucking hate doing it. And we might end up having a much better quality stream, and it might be a better show. And maybe it's forcing us to actually pay attention and care about the show we make. I doubt that. I doubt that'll happen.
Wow.
Let's be honest. That won't happen. But it could force a lot of people to get out there, maybe, do a little bit better on the stream, get better quality to the end user. And that isn't a bad thing. So there's a good side to it as well. Again, if they didn't get rid of 420 or 480p, that'd be fine. Like, I get it. You're forcing users to upgrade. That's not the worst thing in the world. Getting more high quality streams, not the worst thing in the world. Don't care about any of that. And again, another thing too, forcing people to pay money for the people like me or partners that are just, 28-year-old dudes trying to make a living off of Twitch. I think that's good too. I don't see anything wrong with that. If you want to support the guy you've been watching, a pro that you like that plays video games, I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of forcing that user to like, hey, maybe support this guy and let him, you love his shit, well, now pay some more. I'm okay with all of that. So my only big hatred is why are you getting rid of the stream that most people watch? That's odd. And it sort of kind of gives the hint of maybe you're in it for the money. What's your company? That's what you're supposed to do. I'm not saying it's the worst thing, but fuck you.
And actually, I mean, I'm totally with you on that, but I think for like you said, like the little guys like us, yes, we're only streaming 480p, but that doesn't mean we're not maybe trying to work towards doing better.
Right.
Where, getting to that 720 might be a more feasible for us, and it would like encourage us to get there. I mean, hell, I've even thought about, once I get more income coming in, I want to get a new computer so I can get there.
Yeah,
get a better stream so people aren't kind of like, oh, what's going on in your stream? But, I have a good time with it.
Yeah,
and on a side note, Sarcasmo, suck my dick. I provide a quality stream of my fail. Thank you very much.
I have to agree with that, actually.
Oh.
I have to agree with that. Fantastic. Love it. Love everything about it. So that's going to wrap it up. So, yes, we love Twitch. At the end of the day, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't, or, I don't know. I really do like their service. There's no question about it. We had a choice when we first started the show between Own3D and Twitch. This was during the times where they were essentially equal. There's a reason Twitch has all the viewers. They've done everything right up until this point. So I've got no reason to completely think they're trying to fuck people over. I just really wish there was some feedback. I obviously nerd raged on Twitter, hoping to get a reaction from them, which they didn't bite, unfortunately. But I wish they just sort of would speak to this. The community obviously is aware of this as a problem. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Once the 360 comes out, or 360, once the one comes out, we'll know more, because like LB said, it might just be a fucking sea of shit streams and, you have to weed through all of them. But anyway, if you want to follow LB SUTKE, you can. And LB will tell you how. LB?
Well, you can find me on Raptor. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Xbox Live, PSN, no Nintendo.
Aww.
You're not going to find me there.
You can't.
But you
people
can
can't play Nintendogs with you. That's
no.
That's bullshit.
No. But if you do look for LBSUTKE.
Great. And Hitman. Where can I find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at i6hitman. YouTube.com /i6hitman. And Twitch, twitch.tv /Watchtower Games.
Watchtower Games. And by the way, if you go to Watchtower Games, 720p. High quality
or
stream
1080p.
Or 1080p.
I've done it before. It's just I don't know if anyone's really watching it at 1080p.
I would. It's high quality over there.
Next week will be in 1080p. Fuck that shit.
Right.
Oh, snap! There it is.
And you know what? No one will know because they'll just say source. So
Yeah,
exactly. Like, I think it's 1080p. I don't know. I guess it's good.
It says source. I don't know.
It says source. It must be good.
gotta be good.
You can find me at all of the social networks at Dude I Rock. It doesn't change. Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, Etsy. That's where I create a lot of art.
Etsy. Well done.
A lot of my art's at Etsy. I do a lot of figurines and things like that, so you can come follow me. Every Thursday, 6:30, 7-ish Central, depends on how we feel, or if we have like a 3-hour conversation before the show talking about what we're going to talk about. Sometimes a little later. But you can catch us every single week after the show airs on tooltoplay.com, and we'll be there, like we always are. With that, I'll see you guys next week, hopefully on a better stream quality. We'll give Hitman his first crack at being the producer of the show. I can't wait.
I don't know about
Hitman!
first.
Well, it's not really your first crack. It's like your 80th crack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but while I'm here, it'll be great. Right? I can judge you this time. I get to judge and do the show. It's great. Can't wait. Thanks, everyone, for coming, and we will see you all next week. Peace out.
See you guys.
Later.